Yeah, this has always been perplexing to me. It seems like such a slam dunk to be able to make that argument, and yet you have members of Congress, like you mentioned, that are in districts where that seems to be misunderstood. Which leads up to the second part of the interview that I want to talk about, and that's that. And I'm not going to pick on any particular news organization, but there seems like a large number of groups out there that are intentionally lying about the president, the Democrats, misleading about the facts about various bills. For example, the famous Granny is going to die from a death panel from the health care.
Right.
And now we have Democrats even supporting repealing the health care that we just passed because they are so scared. They are more, to me, it's that they are more concerned about their job than they are about what's doing right for this country.
I'm a whip, and I have told people that I lobbied on the health care bill. I said, look, why did you run for this job? Did you run just to perpetuate yourself in public office, or did you run to do something? On the 23rd of September, just a few days from now, every child with any type of disease will no longer be discriminated against on getting on their parents' policies. I had a woman who tried to get her daughter, who has juvenile diabetes. 21 insurance companies turned her down. 21 out of 21. Children that have epilepsy, children that have a lot of different, health problems. They can't get on their parents' policies. And if they are on their parents' policies and their parent loses their job and they have to go, they're not going to cover them. I don't know, as a country, how you can possibly look at that. The other thing is for students who are 21, can now stay on their parents' policies till they're 25. What if you graduate from college with a high debt load, you're out looking for a job and you have an appendicitis attacking at you, have your appendix removed, it's about $25,000, let's say. You're bankrupt before you ever get your first job. How about closing the donut hole for seniors on Medicare Part D, the worst bill Congress ever passed? We sent out checks to over 100, I'm trying to think, well over 1 million Americans that got money, seniors, to close the donut hole. How in heaven's name do they want to repeal that? So if you repeal the bill, here's what you're saying. You're saying to the seniors, we want our money back from closing the donut hole. You're saying to parents, we are not going to cover your children because we don't have the courage to do it. You're saying to young people, we're simply not going to allow you to stay on your parents' policies. So if you get sick while you're looking for a job, tough luck. You're going to say to seniors on Medicare, well, that $500 billion that we found that we could change Medicare and keep it solvent for 12 years, that's off the table too. So, either you stand up for ordinary people, I think, or you don't. I mean, look, I understand the anger from some people out there, but when you're inundated with nonsensical, the grandma stuff, the government's going to take it over. 85% of Americans have private insurance, and for those 85%, nothing changes. Nothing. They actually will probably pick up about $130 a month less on a premium because that's what it costs them to pay for people that are uninsured now. So they want to repeal that? Well, okay, I'll fight that argument every single day because, look, the insurance companies are making huge sums of money, huge profits. And again, we go back to whose side really are you on in this debate? Isn't it enough that we're now going to let the insurance companies sell to 30 million people who don't have health insurance? Doesn't it speak volumes about the country when South Africa did this and when we were left as the only industrialized nation on the planet who didn't have some type of health care for all their people? So why did you run for this job? I told one of my colleagues, I said, look, you beat an incumbent. And maybe there were two reasons that you won, I think, one or two. One is you are incredibly good looking. Or two, the people in your district wanted change and wanted you to come here and do something different than the Republican that you beat. And I said, with all due respect, I don't think it's because you're that handsome. And he kind of had this look on his face like, well, and his response to me was, yeah, well, you don't understand. And I said, don't tell me I don't. What I want you to do is tell that woman or tell the people who've lost their homes because they had to decide between health care. A woman I graduated with from high school in 1967 told me at one of my hearings, healthcare hearings of the 19 I had, she said, I now have to decide whether I keep my insurance or I lose my house or keep my home. That's my decision. What are we doing to this person? I mean, here's a person who's worked all of her life, and now she's basically stuck with having to keep her home or keep her health insurance. That's a swell option. So look, my parents lost their house when I was growing up because my dad was sick and they couldn't make the payments. I know what it does to a family to lose your home, and that's a sad commentary for not just Republicans. I expect that from them, but I don't expect it from my Democratic colleagues, who again worry about the ballot box instead of what happens to these people when they go to the hospital.